Before cell phones were commonplace in our society, it was the responsibility of the media to cover social unrest and protests. If a representative from a media outlet was not present, then the event would not receive coverage and usually would not attract nationwide attention. As cell phones evolved into smartphones, it became easier to share the media that we could record. If something big happened, all that would be necessary would be for one individual to catch it on camera. One of the biggest power shifts of time happened when smartphones went mainstream.
Before smartphones and cell phones in general, protests were generally a much greater risk than they are today. When it came to civil rights, the goal would be to try and catch the attention of the media. Popular figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. would announce where he would be headed to make sure that a newspaper or network would be there to record what happened as a result, and that would show the world. Dr. King would sometimes choose not to mobilize if a journalist was not even present. To Dr. King and civil rights activists at the time, there was no such thing as bad publicity. However, only having one journalist on the scene would still only harbor one point of view. That point of view depended completely on the publisher. A main reason people protest is to raise awareness and make a stand. So in order to be successful, you would need a media outlet in order to raise national and even international awareness, and then your cause could receive support.
The amount of power each individual now has to start a movement all depends on how good the camera in one's smartphone is. The better the quality, the more clearly the audience can see the potential tragedy that has occurred. According to the LA Times, police officers now have to change the code and act as if they're being recorded at all times. Our society has made it extremely simple to move information around. For one, there is social media. They can be posted to for potentially thousands to see. Media on social media can also be shared to anyone that is connected. Media outlets have emails and pages designed to receive amateur coverage of protest or even the events that cause the protest. The only negative to recording these protests or events is the potential danger you may put in while recording. While you have every legal right to record, many officers feel guilt for what they've been doing, even though they are doing what in their mind is their job. They are trying to intimidate people that record, as noted by The Atlantic. During the riots in Ferguson, Missouri, people with smartphones that were recording came under assault if caught, as reported by the Huffington Post. A terrible punishment for what we know as a constitutional right. As technology advances, smartphones get cheaper. With the falling prices of smartphones, people in developing nations start to acquire these smartphones and allow them to record and share as we do. Many world autocracies were brought to light with shaky clips of low-quality footage, such as the clips of terrorism and Boko Haram in several parts of northern Africa. So as our technology advances, it'll be harder to hide civil unrest.
How protests will advance from now. At first, recording a shocking event was not the standard. It had not even been a general reaction until this decade. As people began to see the success of recording the altercation, many began to record their interactions with police officers. Police officers are starting to receive body cameras and such to make sure that there can be no biases when telling an event story. As camera technology advances, images and videos will become more clear and less ambiguous. Although it is legal to record anything in the United States, we do not have the right to interfere with the law. It is advised to keep your distance, although one does not have to, legally as long as they are not interfering with the law. When did taking out your phone or recording an event become the standard?
Being a part of a connected society thankfully means that the problems had around the world are shared as well. Because of the ease to share video and photos now, getting worldwide support is easier. With that support, progress towards fixing whatever lies ahead can be made. This world may never be perfect, but actively acting towards a solution is always a positive step.